and welcome to my channel. So today I wanted to do a story time video because I think these are like super entertaining, and I have a story myself to tell which I thought you guys might be interested in hearing because it's just a bit crazy, to be honest. So it started back in 2012 when I just started university and I was in my first year, and at the time I lived with a couple of my friends. So one of my flatmates and I, we were like super close, like always together, like two peas in a pod. And so even when he was on the phone, I would be like in the background, like annoying him and stuff. And so his best friend at the time, I guess, used to call him, and he would hear me in the back and tell my friend that he wanted to talk to me. And I was kind of like, like, there's no need for that, is there? So then after a couple of times my friend was like, he actually wants to talk to you. So then I would be like, hey, what's up, blah blah blah, like literally like a 2-minute conversation, give the phone back. And so that's how I met this person. So then after a while, I don't remember how, I certainly didn't give it to him, so I don't know how he got my Skype. And I used to be on Skype all the time because that's how I like kept in contact with all my friends back home in London. He added me on there and we started talking, blah blah blah. And then after a while, I have no idea how, because again, like back then on Snapchat you couldn't add someone through their phone number, so I don't know how he got my Snapchat because he didn't have my phone number, but he got my Snapchat. So he started talking to me on there as well, and I was like, cool, because obviously I knew him, like it wasn't a complete stranger adding me. So I was like, okay, whatever. And then after a while the conversation started going a bit, I would say, not left, but just a bit inappropriate. Like he would be a bit inappropriate sometimes. And I remember he asked me on several occasions to send him a picture. Like, I'm sure you know exactly what I mean. And I was just like, hang on, that's a bit, like, we don't even know each other that well. And secondly, no. Thirdly, no. So that never happened. Yeah, he always used to ask for my number, and I never gave it to him because I wasn't feeling it, to be honest. That's why I just never gave it to him, because I was like, once he has my number, it's game over. And how right was I? So yeah, I just never gave it out. So now it rolled on to summer of my first year of university. So I was about to go into my second year, but it was summer, so I was back at home. And my friend started asking me, and he's like, are you guys still speaking, and that kind of thing. And in my head I'm thinking, why is he asking me this? That's a bit like peculiar. And he was like, are you guys going out or this or that? I'm like, no, like we literally maybe Skype sometimes and maybe, but to my knowledge we're not like going out or anything. So I was like, that's a bit weird, but I sort of just put it to the back of my mind. And then I remember I was out in Shoreditch and my friend sent me this voice clip, and it was this guy, and on the voice clip he was telling my friend that he broke up with me. I was thinking, what? Like, firstly, when did we go out? Secondly, like, how have you broken up with me when we never even went out with each other? I was like enraged, I was infuriated, I was like, I'm like so over it. And he must have said something so ridiculous. I was like, this guy actually has a good imagination, because that sounds realistic if it was true. He was like, it was too expensive for me to travel to be seeing her regularly, or this or that, like, because he lives in the town next to me, he doesn't actually live in London. So I'm listening to this bull and I'm thinking, how mad are you? So I sent the longest text, like, I am actually sick of this. I have been so respectful to this guy, even though he's been so like disrespectful, and like, I'm just so done. Tell him to just leave me alone. And bear in mind, I'm sending this to my friend because I didn't even have this guy's number. Like, that's the extent to which it is. Like, I don't even have your number. Like, I don't even know how to contact you. So I sent that. I was like so mad, and my friend was like, oh well, yeah, that's what he said and all this or that. I was like, nah mate, like he made that the hell up. Like, he would always try and hit me up now, like on Skype and all this. So I just stopped speaking to him on like Skype, or I just took him off Snapchat. I was like, done, goodbye. Like, I was entertaining you and I shouldn't have even been entertaining you, because clearly you're just, I don't even know. So I was like, nah, goodbye. And yeah, that was that. And so it was about a year and a half, I think, went past, and I was in my final year of uni now, and I was going away on this church weekend trip. So we're in the bus, I'm chilling with my friends, just jamming, and my phone rings. And I look at it, and there's this number I've never seen before in my life. So I answered it because obviously it's not a withheld number, so like it might be someone I know. And it was him. And he tried to do that thing, you know, and you know what stresses me out? When someone calls you, especially a guy, and they'll be like, guess who it is? Like, no, you called me, how about you just tell me what you want? Like, I was so mad when I'm like hearing his voice, because I was like, do you know how long I have tried to not give this person my number, and now they have my number and they think it's a free-for-all. I was like having the driest conversation with him just to make it clear, like, I don't want to talk to you because you're a liar. And then he told me that he was coming up to the city that my uni was in, and he was like, oh, I'm excited to see you. I was thinking, no, like that's, no, it's not gonna happen. Me and you, we're not gonna see each other, no thanks. But out loud I was just like, oh, is it? Like, really? But in my head I was plotting how to not be near him when he came. So he had a friend who was my friend who he was coming up to see, and that's why he was coming up to my uni town. A couple of weeks later, I was in my uni building, like late. I used to stay there until I was hungry and then go home. So now I come out of the uni building, minding my business, as I always am when things seem to happen to me, and I'm walking and I see my friend. And I'm like, oh, it's my friend. And then next to him, guess who I see? Guess who I see right in front of me? I see this same guy. He had the biggest grin I've ever seen on a human being's face, like, and he was just looking at me like, oh my god, like, there she is kind of thing. I was so freaked out, like, you have no idea, like, to just see him in the flesh, well, I was like, crap, like, I was trying so hard to avoid this interaction, and yet here we are. My friend started talking to me and he's like, oh, what you doing? No. And I'm just like, I'm just going home to make some food, bye, basically. And so I said hi to him briefly because he was like, oh, hi to me. But like, I didn't want to talk to him. That weekend, the girl that I go to church with, who is the girl who is his friend that he came up to see with a whole bunch of other people, we ended up all going to church in the same group, and he was there. And I was like, this is not what I wanted because I just didn't want him to be here. It's just like... But it was okay because there was loads of other people, so I didn't actually have to talk to him or hang out with him that much, but I was still like he's here, creeped out. And that weekend went past, and I just remember him calling me and stuff, but I got to a point where I'm like, okay, now there's just no point of entertaining this, so I just stopped answering. And then suddenly I started getting calls from an anonymous number. I mean, from withheld, basically, so I couldn't see who it was, but I knew it was him. You know when you just, in your gut, you know something. I knew it was him calling me. I knew it because I was like, who else has that much time on their hands? It's you. So then he would call me on the regs, like I'm talking maybe 3-4 times a week without fail, and call me and then hang up. And it was the most irritating thing ever. So I stopped answering, but they still kept calling, like, so regularly every week, and this went on for like 3 months, to the point where like I called my provider and asked if there was something I could do about like stopping these calls, and unfortunately because it was withheld there was nothing they could do, but like I knew it was him, and that's what grated me so badly. So then I was talking to my friend, and he mentioned something about how back after this guy had come to visit at my uni, he had been calling me a few times, and in those conversations somehow he told my friend that he had a girlfriend again, and I'm thinking, there is no way he could be trying to say that I'm his girlfriend again. Like, there's no way someone can be that mad. So that's also what like spurred it on, the thing of me being like, I'm just not gonna talk to him, like disregard it completely. So after a while, like those stalker calls stopped coming through, like I guess he got tired. There's like what I was advised is that leave it and he'll get bored and stop, and that's exactly what happened. I know it was him. If he's watching, I know it was you. But yeah, that was just my story, which I thought was a bit creepy, a bit weird, a bit strange, but a bit funny, to be honest, in hindsight. So I thought I would share it with you guys. And if you guys have anything similar, please let me know. Like, tell me I'm not on my own. Like, tell me this has happened to someone else. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. And I'll see you in my next one. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. And I'll see you. Bye, guys!